Hello everyone, and welcome back to another counter build fight, this time against Arch Tempered Kirin using a Gunlance. Here I am at the canteen. I'm looking to build a Bombardier, and I want to see how many fresh ingredients there are for that. Since there weren't that many fresh ingredients, I'm using a meal voucher. And now I can build whatever I want. I'm going to go for Elemental Resist. Notice I need 4 from the bottom row of ingredients, and then I need 2 from the top row of ingredients to get another skill I like to use. Right, it's the Polisher skill, so you get a Feline Polisher. So we have Bombardier, and Bombardier is going to be one of the most meaningful damage buffs to the shelling on the Gunlance, so it's actually really important. Now we can get started. Normally I wouldn't do that. Oh, there's that new Winter Festival firework. It looks nice. Yeah, it looks good. Normally I would eat at the canteen before beginning the quest, just to save a little bit of time, be a little more efficient. But I figured I should probably start showing you guys what I eat to make things a little easier for you guys as well. So here we are, we're picking up a footprint to figure out which way he is. He is in the lower area, not the upper area. Lower part of the map. And you'll notice for my weapon, I'm using the Terrath Buster Bomber. That's a wide level 4 Gunlance. And it's also a Rarity 8 Kovtaroth weapon. And the way this is going to work is if you guys don't have this weapon, I'm going to recommend the Rarity 7 version. Is the Terrath Buster Bomber. And then if you don't have that one, there is also a Rarity 6 version. And I'm not sure which one that's called. You'll know it's the right one because it'll be a wide Gunlance and it'll be level 4 as well. That's the important part. The level of the shelling is going to dictate how much the shelling is going to do. It's going to be one of the biggest indicators. And we're not really worried too much about how much melee damage we're going to be doing. This is a defensive build, so most of the damage is going to be focused around shelling. So yeah, you can actually use the Rarity 6 version, and maybe I should have done that here. The reason I used my... Oh, I remember, yeah, the reason I used my Rarity 8 Terrath Buster Bombers because I actually have it augmented for health regen already, and I highly recommend augmenting for health regen. So I had the health regen augmentation on this one, and I probably would have used the lower level versions of the Gunlance, lower rank, that is the Buster Bomber and the Rarity 6 one, right? I'm going to use that for you guys just to show you that it's possible, but I don't have any more Nergigante gems, I don't have any more Anjanath gems, so I'm definitely not going to spend those just on one video, right? I mean, I have the Gold Wavirian prints, but I'm not going to spend those just for a Nergigante gem to augment like a Rarity 6 Gunlance that I don't normally use. So here we are, you notice I'm wearing the Temporal Mantle. You saw that he just deflected my attack. That is one of the reasons why we're not going to be using anything but shelling. If we can avoid using melee attacks, we're going to avoid using melee attacks. That's because it won't always be deflected, but it gets deflected too much for my taste. Here's a case. You can see that the Wyvern Fire is done cooling down, charging it up, and I missed. It's very frustrating. He actually moves around a lot, so Gunlances can do a pretty good job as long as you're using the wide shelling, in my opinion. Maybe even the normal shelling. I think the wide shelling is the safest. It is. I didn't actually test the normal shelling because I assumed it would be too dangerous. With the wide shelling, the reason why we're working with the wide shelling is because with you only focusing on the build needing artillery for damage, that leaves you a lot of open slots in order to build defense. And that's what we want here because he's an Arch Tempered monster. And one of the things I do with these counter builds is I try to optimize for both damage and defense. So we have a lot of defense. And the primary damaging skills on this build are going to be artillery and the Elementalist decoration and capacity boost, which allows you to bring 1 extra shell. When it comes to the Elementalist decoration, you won't need that for the other types of the other wide Gunlances. The only one that uses the Elementalist decoration is going to be this one that I'm using. So for yours, if you end up using a lower level Gunlance, lower rarity I mean, you won't need to worry about that Elementalist decoration. And it's probably not affecting the shelling too much anyways. It probably mostly affects the melee damage. So what, oh, there we go, I'm using the Wyvern Fire again. Whew, he hit me, but look how little damage he did there. He did almost no damage to me. I've got the Thunder Mantle. If you don't have the Thunder Mantle, I do have a Mantles Guide. I worked really hard on it, but it wasn't really necessary. It's more like a practice, and I just wanted to practice making videos. That's why I made that. But I made it much later. And if you don't have the Thunder Mantle, maybe consider, you can check that video out. I'll leave a link in the description. This is one of those monsters where the Elemental Mantle makes a huge difference. So if you have the Thunder Mantle to fight Kirin, you really do want the Thunder Mantle. It recharges quickly and it gives you tons of damage reduction. You'll notice I'm just taking one shell at a time right now. I've got a fair amount of damage on me. I'm probably going to sheath and heal is my guess. Yep, there I go. And I'm going to use a max potion. Alright, and notice I'm just going to craft more max potions. I highly recommend that on your item loadouts to be able to craft more max potions, because you can only carry 2 at a time, but if you bring the right ingredients, you can craft, I believe, 5 or more. You can even craft more than 5, I'm pretty sure. But for me, I only need 5. There's another firework. Make things a little fun here. I ran up to the edge of the cliff because I know he's probably going to move to the next location soon, and when he does, I don't want to have to chase him all the way from the bottom of this area. So I got him near the exit to start out with. And here I am. I want to use my Wyvern Fire, but he is going to escape. I correctly predicted he was about to leave the area. Notice now that he's gone, now I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my weapon. And notice how fast it sharpened there. That's the feline skill. It's a very useful skill to eat for, especially if you have a meal voucher and you're guaranteed to get it. Yeah, so what did you think so far from what you've seen? Notice I didn't seem to be at any big risk at any point in the fight, even though I did take damage multiple times. I have so much good thunder resistance between my... I actually have thunder resistance built onto the build, and then I have the elemental resistance from the canteen, and I'm wearing the Thunder Mantle as well. He just isn't able to do anything to me. Alright, notice, I just chill out with my shield, guarding his attacks, and then when he's done with his move, meaning I let him make the first move, when he's done, then I use my move, and if I mess that up, that's usually when I take damage. So he just attacked, and now I'm going to try and get this Wyvern Fire out. Whew! I got it, but I still took damage. I'm stunned. But notice, the stun's not even that dangerous. Like, look, he hit me again, and it just wasn't enough to kill me. Even in that case, with some damage already being on me, and I was stunned, so I'm going to take all the damage from his move, and I didn't have Thunder Mantle on, he wasn't able to kill me, and that's because of all the defense. And that's why this build's so easy, because I've optimized for explosive damage, but I've also optimized for defense, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I feel like I can recommend this build to players who aren't looking to speedrun, and they haven't played this game for like 2,000. I mean, I've played this game for almost 2,000 hours, and I still make mistakes like that. And one of the reasons why speedrunners make it look so easy is because what they're really doing is they put together one really optimized build, and they speedrun the monster over and over and over again, and the build does such high damage that the monster actually stays juggled the entire time. The problem with that is you're really not able to do that in multiplayer, so you need to think of multiplayer builds very differently. For example, if you took a speedrunner build against Arch Tempered Kirin right now, you would probably die. You'd probably be the guy on the team who dies. Whereas if you took this build into multiplayer, you're going to be okay, because he's never going to kill you. You're never going to drain the pool of lives that everyone shares, right? So here I am. I have the the Temporal Mantle on again. That means I can play really aggressive against him. One of the things I like to do is the auto dive you get from the Temporal Mantle actually gives you some momentum. You move forward. So I like to use the free roll as a way to get closer to Kirin. I do this with, what do I do that with? The Griffin Bazooka as well. I like to do that. He's coming in to attack me, and I'm not worried at all. See, when I jump from the mantle, I try to use the mantle to get closer. I got my Wyvern Stake in on him. It's kind of fun. Although you lose a lot of damage. If the Wyvern Stake doesn't land, in terms of DPS, you actually lose a lot of damage. So you're taking a little bit of a risk with the Wyvern Stake. Alright, there he is. He's down again. When he's down like this, you can definitely Wyvern Stake. Look at that. I got to do a full combo on him because he was knocked down. Oop. Couldn't do Wyvern Stake there because I didn't have it reloaded. I didn't notice that. Oop. Pretty easy. You'll see I'm on the green bar for sharpness. That doesn't actually affect your damage with your shells. It's not until you get to the brown bar that you start to lose damage on your shelling, so you don't have to worry about losing sharpness on a Gunlance like this. Unless you've got a melee build, then you really do have to worry about it. Okay, so it's going to be the same deal. He's moved on to the next location. I can sharpen. I guess I don't want to sharpen yet. I guess I'm going to chase him first. It doesn't really matter because he's going to run off. You can tell because on the mini screen he's got the skull. He's going to go to his nest and go to sleep now. There we go, I'm sharpening. Yeah, so it doesn't matter when I sharpen. I'm not really chasing him. He's going to go to bed. These monsters in Monster Hunter World, they don't give very good nests, do they? I mean, if you're a monster in the real world and you're going to sleep right in the open, you're going to get bombed. Oh, look at this. It didn't connect for some reason. It didn't let me grab onto the wall. That's so annoying. I got to climb all the way back up. Notice I took the left side because I didn't want to get hit by Kirin on the way up. He'll actually knock you off. It's very frustrating. Pick up some more of that slice ammo. I always need more slice ammo. Alright, so I have my Mega Barrel Bombs. Set that down by his head. Notice I'm going to craft 2 fresh Mega Barrel Bombs in case my Palico puts Kirin to sleep in the middle of the fight here. Another firework. Yeah, so if you were paying attention, my Palico has the Bond Ball for the weapon, and the Bond Ball can actually put Kirin to sleep. There's the Wyvern Fire as a wake-up attack. Lots of damage in there. And now we just kind of have to finish him off here. You'll notice just throughout the fight, it really hasn't been that difficult. You know what I mean? Like, I let him attack first, and then I conservatively poke him. When I have the Temporal Mantle on, I go, whatever you want to say, like balls deep, something funny, right? I go hard when I've got the Temporal Mantle active, and when I don't, I just kind of chill out. And since I have my ability to guard any of his moves, I can just regen through pokes or have my Palico give me my health back. That's one of the nice things about playing by yourself, right? You get your Palico. Look at that, Wyvern Stake landed. Oof. He likes to charge around a lot, doesn't he? It's very kind of annoying. I did try a long shelling Gunlance, but I ended up not liking it. The time it takes for you to charge the shells is actually a disadvantage with Kirin, in my opinion, just because he moves around so much. He really does. He just moves around wherever he wants to as fast as he can. So there's a case where the Wyvern Stake did not actually land. That means I was kind of missing out on damage there. Oh, there we go. He's knocked over. That's nice. So I guess I can do another long combo on him. Look at that. There's the Wyvern Stake. Oof. He barely does any damage to me. I've got all of the defense right now. Food skill, thunder resist on the build, and the thunder resist mantle. Oh. This line attack he uses is always a great move to follow up with one of your slower moves. And there we go. He's dead. That was my Wyvern Fire, and that was all we needed left on his health. Alright, and that is the counter build, is Wide Shelling Gunlance. You're going to see the skills that I used. Once again, I have the Terrath Buster Water, but you can use the Terrath Buster, let's see, where is it? Bomber, there it is, that's the Rarity 7. And then the Rarity 6 one is called the Bomber, what is that? I can't read it. I already left it. Bomber Gold Exploder, is that right? It's much smaller on my computer screen. And here you can see my skills. They're all pretty much toward defense. So feel free to pause here and copy the build if you feel like it. Alright, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.